Democrats are pretending to be very, very upset that Donald Trump has suggested that there are enemies within the United States. No, he can't say that. That's so divisive, him saying there are enemies within the United States. So here's Donald Trump saying it, and then we'll talk about the response from Democrats.
How are you going to guard against the bureaucrats undermining you?
Well, they're going to undermine. Well, I always say, so we have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries, because if you have a smart president, he can handle them pretty easily. I got along great with all. I handled them. But the thing that's tougher to handle are these lunatics that we have inside, like Adam Shifty Schiff. Think of this guy's going to be a senator. He's running against a guy that doesn't understand politics at all, Garvey, but he was a good baseball player. But he doesn't understand politics at all. Adam Shifty Schiff, who's a total sleazebag, is going to become a senator. But I call him the enemy from within. When you look at the danger he put our country in, potentially with Russia, with a phony made-up deal that he made up with Hillary and some bad people, that started off as an excuse for why she lost an election that a lot of people thought she should have won, because the polls indicated she might win, and then she got beaten everywhere, virtually. When you look at that, and then they said, it was Russia. They used it as an excuse, and then the fake news picked it up.
Okay, so do I like when political opponents label each other the enemy from within? I really don't. I don't like that very much. In fact, I don't like it on either side, which is why I've been condemning it my entire political career. I don't like it. There are actually, by the way, enemies within. For example, an enemy of the United States within would be whoever in the Defense Department decided to leak Israel's war plans on Iran to Iran. That person should be in jail. That person should be arrested forthwith. The FBI is currently doing an investigation. You want to talk about the enemy within? There are, in fact, people in the government who are enemies of the United States inside the U.S. government. Those people need to be ferreted out and prosecuted under criminal law. Okay, so that really exists. But when you say you're political opponent, and believe me, I think Adam Schiff is a scumbag. I think Adam Schiff is a liar. Do I think that Adam Schiff is a greater threat than, say, China or Russia? I have my doubts. Okay, but it's the reaction I want to point out here. We'll get to more on this in a second. First, using the internet without ExpressVPN is like using your smartphone without a protective case. Most of the time, probably fine. All it takes is one accidental drop onto solid concrete to make you wish you had a case protecting that smartphone. Well, every time you connect to an unencrypted network, cafes, hotels, airports, you're basically inviting hackers to a buffet of your personal information. Trust me, these are not the kind of guests you want at your table. Now, you might think, Ben, I'm not tech savvy. Surely I'm safe. Wrong-o. It does not take a genius to hack somebody these days. Even a smart 12-year-old could do it with some cheap hardware. Your data, it's more valuable than you think. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling personal information on the dark web. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's why you should too. It creates an encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. When I say secure, I mean secure. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. ExpressVPN is super easy to use. You open the app, you click one button. It's so simple, even a Democrat could probably figure it out. Works on all your devices, phones, laptops, tablets, so you're protected everywhere. I use ExpressVPN every day. As someone who values freedom and privacy, I appreciate that ExpressVPN helps me maintain both in our increasingly digital world. Secure your online data today. Scan that QR code on the screen, click the link in the description, or visit expressvpn.com/Ben Shapiro Show. When you visit that special link, by the way, you get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN service for free. Who doesn't like to save money, right? And that's expressvpn.com/Ben Shapiro Show, expressvpn.com/Ben Shapiro Show to protect your data today. So, members of the left-wing media, members of the Democratic Party, who are perfectly fine with demonizing everybody on the right for my entire lifetime, are very upset that Donald Trump would say anything remotely like this. So Jon Stewart, who has made an entire living by sneering, like just making faces at people he disagrees with and treating them as forms of a lower humanity, he's very upset that Donald Trump would talk about the enemies within. By the way, this is during the same presidency where Joe Biden went in front of a blood-red Independence Hall and called ultra-MAGA Republicans a threat to the Republic. So spare me the crocodile tears here.
He is literally saying that! He is literally saying that! What are you talking about? Literally! He is saying the enemy within, like Shifty Schiff and Pelosi. You can't just pretend that he's talking about something else. God, this is what gets us to the ultimate problem, which is this. Is any of the Trump says real? How are we supposed to understand what's bullshit and what isn't? Kamala Harris, she's got to have an 80-page presentation on exactly how this opportunity economy is going to function and how it's going to be paid for. Meanwhile, the standard for Trump is emotional vicinity. Apparently, it doesn't actually matter if the things he says are true. And if you try and dig down on the lies, he only gets liar.
Okay, so Jon Stewart being frustrated by the fact that people take Trump seriously but not literally, which has been true his entire political career. I'm sorry, this doesn't wash. What are we supposed to do about the fact that Joe Biden said yesterday that his political opponents should be locked up? That Donald Trump should go to jail? Okay, that seems like declaring him an enemy within. I mean, the entire Democratic Party has done that to Trump since he decided to step down the golden escalator in 2015. Jim Acosta did the same thing on CNN. And all the same people who retailed Russiagate, suggesting that Donald Trump was in fact a tool of the Russian government, which is to say definitionally an enemy within, are very, very upset that Donald Trump would say anything like that about the people who labeled him that.
So I'm asking you, if Donald Trump orders people inside this country, citizens like Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi, to be arrested, you're saying, I think I just heard you a few moments ago saying you would not go along with that. So why not denounce what the former president is saying when he calls them the enemy from within?
Jim, first of all,
shouldn't that be denounced?
Let's be very clear. Donald, Matt, are you going to let me answer your question? Here you go. Donald Trump's been president for 4 years already. When he was president of the United States, did he weaponize the Justice Department against his political rivals? No, he did not. When he was president of the United States, did he order the National Guard or Secret Service or the U.S. military to go after his quote unquote rivals? No, he did not. As a matter of fact, there's been 2 attempts.
Congressman, I've been at a lot of Trump rallies where they were chanting "lock her up" about
Jim,
Hillary
you
Clinton.
want an answer? I'm going to give you an answer. You may not like it.
Well,
but
it has to be in line with reality,
The
Congressman.
reality is,
you've been to Trump rallies when they chant "lock her up" about Hillary Clinton. All right.
Acosta's a joke. Byron Donalds is giving him exactly the correct answer, which is Trump was president. We already know what he's going to do. What are you even talking about? But this is the gaslighting. They do the thing they say that it's bad Trump wants to do. They do it. And then they say it's bad that Trump articulates something in the vicinity of the thing that they are actually doing. No one buys it. And if you do, you're a fool. And so speaking of gaslighting, and it makes you nuts. It makes you absolutely nuts. And it's designed to do so. So again, the claim today is that Donald Trump cursed the memory of a Latino soldier who was murdered. A female Latino soldier who was murdered. He cursed her memory as a Mexican. Okay, nonsense. And Jeffrey Goldberg's reporting it with zero sourcing, and it's leading the CBS Evening News. It's crap. I'm just going to put this out there. It doesn't even sound like something that Trump would say. It's absurd. Okay, that's story number 1. Story number 2 is that they're dragging out John Kelly yet again for another round of Trump is Hitler. And then they're saying, oh, Trump's going to target his enemies from within. Okay, the entire Democratic Party right now is providing cover for pro-Hamas protesters across the country. The entire Democratic Party is currently threatening Israel with an arms cutoff in the middle of a war against the Nazis of today, Hamas and Hezbollah, and the Iranian regime. And I'm supposed to believe that Donald Trump is the Hitlerian threat to the... Joe Biden yesterday said that he wants to arrest Donald Trump, and he has already sicked his DOJ on Donald Trump. And I'm supposed to believe that Trump is the fascistic authoritarian threat to the United States. I'm sorry. Bullshit. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.